One second here. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Okay, and hey, we're live. Welcome to our homebuyer seminar. We do this every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, and we record it live onto, and stream it live onto YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm here with my colleagues and partners in crime, Patricia.Castillo.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
And who's a colleague, a real estate broker here in Los Angeles, in Downey, the Beverly Hills of the 562.
That's
And
right.
our good friend and mortgage lender colleague.
Gustavo Segura, how you guys doing?
And we have to be nice to him. He's just a lender. No, he's a lender. He finances our deals.
We have to be nice to him. We want him to call us and pick up his phone when we do call.
I have to now because he's got a deal of mine in escrow. So I got to be nice to him.
Exactly.
Darn it, I don't really want to be, but I have to be. So, and here we are. And we are, so how about the real estate market? How are we doing these days, guys?
Well, rates are right under 7%, right, Gustavo? So they kind of trickled back up a little bit. It's still still something that we're keeping an eye on, but looks like we're at 6.94, I believe it was today, for a 30-year fixed.
So yeah, all year we've been mostly between 6 and 7. It got above 7 and came back down.
Now, just kind of peaked over the last week.
And it went above 7 last week and it came back down. It's been inching back up towards it, huh? Just to keep us paying attention to it.
Keep us on our toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think buyers are pretty much conditioned.
Over the last week, it's been really changing.
Exciting times being real estate, and yet still good demand. I have multiple offers on when I put into escrow over asking price. This week, I got an offer on a property that's already in escrow as well. I mean, there's still people interested in buying property. Plenty.
Yeah.
Got room for more. Got room for more, though.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's still, yesterday I was talking to somebody that asked me, a homeowner, is it a good time to sell right now? So I was on a listing appointment and I said, if it makes sense for you to sell right now because of circumstances going on in your life that you're looking, that would, be provoking you to sell or relocate, then that's really where it starts. It's not just taking advantage of the market right now and, cashing out on the equity that you have on your property, but is it actually going to make sense for you? So, I was walking her through the steps, like, what is it going to look like once you sell your home? Where are you going to go? And what's your time frame to get there? And, how soon does that need to happen? What if your home doesn't sell in that time frame? Are you okay, to still remain here and currently living in your property? She's been there for a few years now. So those are all things that, some of those questions that we ask buyers, we also ask sellers because we want to know why a seller is deciding to sell their property and what would happen if that plan that they have, kind of outlined already doesn't really work the way that they think it might go. Of course, we don't know exactly what a buyer is going to offer you for your property, but as professionals, we study the market every day. We look at prices as far as what's pending, what's closed, what's currently active on the market, days on market, to try to get a really good, picture of what your home could sell for. But of course, we don't know what's going to happen in a week or a month or a year. So if somebody asks me, should I sell now or in a year? Again, it's kind of the same thing like with the buyer. Should I buy now or should I buy in a year? Well, if it makes sense for you either way, because of your own individual situation, then that's where we really need to start and then determine that answer based off of, whatever that blueprint looks like for that person.
Yeah, I think you have to play the game for you to win and not worry about what the market's telling you, because I host a video I do every week and a newsletter on the real estate industry, and just what they tell us is so often wrong. because they're trying to generate activity and interest on their website. They're not trying to help you build wealth and income.
Right.
You know your situation. You need to play the game for you to win. And the other thing I always say is for every transaction, there's a buyer and a seller. And the buyer always thinks it's a good time to buy, and the seller thinks it's a good time to sell. It's true for them at that time. You want to work on your situation, work with professionals, get with Gustavo, get with a lender so you're pre-approved, get the best possible deal to help you get the best terms for you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Real quick housekeeping, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like it and subscribe. And we love to get you guys to come regularly. We do this every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time. And we post it on our YouTube channels and Facebook channels and LinkedIn and all the other places you see video. If you see it, feel free to subscribe there and that way you get notified. Gustavo, tell me, what do you think? What do you see buyers making a mistake on? What's the one thing that if they could change that, they're most likely would improve their results?
So I think one is that they fall in love with something before they come and check their finances. So they go look at Zillow or something, and they're like, oh, I can base on this payment, or where that may be. And when we actually check their credit, when we go through the pre-approval, maybe that's not what they can get. They don't qualify for it. So of course that's going to be disappointing, right? That maybe brings them down and they don't want to move forward. They lose track of the opportunity that they do have. So I think being able to talk to someone first about that, and being able to reach out and get a pre-approval and understand where they're at will help better set them up for what they can get. So I see that a lot when it's just like a disappointment, and then it's like, oh, I can't buy anymore, right? Because I can't get that house and that's it. And there's actually a path to that. We just need to go over that first.
Well said. Patricia, what do you see? What's the biggest mistake people make when buying a house?
Well, I think sometimes it's really focusing on a specific area and just, thinking that that's the only city or area that they want to live in. So I tell buyers, expand on the areas, because one area you might be priced out of. You never know. There might be certain aspects to a neighborhood that you've never even visited before, and you may actually like a different neighborhood. So, I encourage buyers to take a look around at the surrounding areas as well, and not just stay focused. Let's say, for example, in Pasadena, there's surrounding areas there too in the San Gabriel Valley that are nicer as well. And so don't just box yourself in to one specific place. And the other thing is really keeping in touch with your personal finances. Like, for example, a lot of, people that have student loans, those have been on deferred payment status for such a long time because of the pandemic. And now they're supposed to be lifting that pause, and they're supposed to be coming due again, later on this year. Right. So in the meantime, if you've been pre-approved for a certain amount based off of maybe, what is it, Gustavo, 1% of the balance that they spread out over the month, over a monthly payment, right? Is it about 1% of the loan balance?
Yeah, for Fannie Mae is 1%, for Freddie Mac's 0.5%, and then if you do have that repayment based on income, so the income repayment program, it could be different.
Right.
Good point. So, the last couple loans I've seen, that has made a difference in getting pre-approved or not.
It makes a big difference. So if you're a buyer and you have a loan approval right now, and let's say you're looking to buy a home, in the next few weeks, or maybe you're thinking in the next month or two, I'm going to start the pre-approval process. Well, by then things are going to have changed possibly, and your purchasing power may be decreased based off of those student loans that are now going to be, lifted off of that pause for the payment. So you just want to double check and always stay up to date with what's going on with your own personal finances. And of course, stay in touch with us and with Gustavo so that we can make sure that you're still on that right path. We don't want to be looking at homes for, let's say, 550, and now your school loans are back in process and active payment status, and now you've been reduced maybe, a few thousand, several thousand. I mean, it could really impact your purchasing power.
It really can. I would say that on average, the people that I'm seeing have the educational loans are anywhere between 40 and $50,000. So when we take a look at that, and even if we use 1%, I mean that's a lot of money that's going to go into your payment right away. So definitely that's something that has been coming up more and more and more. I see they think, oh, I got a zero payment on my credit report, or I got a deferred payment. I don't need to do this. And yes, that may be like you said for right now. And even some loan programs, they don't accept that. Freddie Mac wants you to still use 0.5%, no matter what your credit report says, even if it's a zero. They want you to use 0.5%. So that's something that definitely you want to be, like you said, be well aware of and understand those finances.
Yeah, nothing worse than having that surprise once you're out shopping, right? And that's the fun part. Is this the part you're supposed to enjoy when you're out shopping for homes? So you don't want to get slapped in the face with, a situation where you don't qualify for the loan anymore.
Well, and they're going to be surprised. You need some room for that gap that inevitably comes up that you didn't plan on. There's always something. We want it to be as planned as much as we can.
Yeah, and with that, I would say, having that reserve, right? Being able to understand, hey, you know what, with my low down payment and my closing costs, I need $30,000. Well, if you can have 35, $40,000, hey, you got some reserves there. It makes it a little bit easier because we never know what's going to come up on the inspection. What needs to get, taken care of. So we want to make sure that we don't just get you into the house, but that we get you into the house and you've got some things that you need to do. You got some reserves.
Right. And you might have some emergency that you need to, you might have repairs or some circumstance that you might need to use those funds for. So it's better to be prepared, not just save for your down payment and closing costs, but also have a little
Mhm.
extra.
Yeah, because some repairs are not mandatory in order to get the loan done. Those are just going to be maybe your wants or likes. And, there's nothing wrong with the house. It's perfectly livable, but you're like, I need to make this repair. And you want to make sure that you have some money for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody's got to pay for it, right? Sometimes it's the buyer, sometimes the seller, but oftentimes there's things that
Yeah.
you're going to want to improve, and that's the beauty is being able to change things the way you want. But you got to plan ahead to be in that position, or else you're always reacting.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Hey, anyhow, again, housekeeping. If you're watching this, I see people on a YouTube channel. Please like it if you like this. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. We do this every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Our home buying seminar, and we have other programs throughout the week as well. Any last words, Gustavo? What should we expect interest rates for the next couple of weeks? Where do you see things headed?
So there's a lot of key recession points that we're seeing, right? But then there's other data that is just, that's hurting us. The job report from last week was super strong. Oil, cutting down. So all these things are just kind of in the market as expected. Inflation's coming down, but some of these things are pushing up against it as well. So that's why over the last week we've had this quick spike here in rates. Ultimately, we still do see them moving down as we go forward. There's going to be new data coming out here in the June 12th, June 13, with new inflation numbers coming out. We should have shelter costs coming down. We should have a lot of other sectors coming down. So ultimately, as we go into the next month, 2 months, we'll slowly start seeing rates come down. But there are other parts of the economy that is just keeping those mortgage rates up high. The bank issues that are happening, inflation, and other countries raising their rates as well. So the market reacts very much globally. So stay to the course. If you're pre-approved, you're pre-qualified, and you're still shopping out there, keep moving forward. There's great deals, there's great opportunities. As the rates come down, we know there's going to be a lot more competition.
Yeah.
And those of you watching, feel free to ask questions here as we wrap up. If you put something in the comment box on either the YouTube or Facebook while it's live, we'll see that and answer it. If you send the recording as well, we'll come back and catch up with you on that. Patricia, what do you see happening in the market here the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I see prices staying where they're at right now based off of everything that Gustavo just explained to us. And the cost of rents as well are still staying pretty high. So, when I talk to potential buyers that are renters right now, I tell them, don't get complacent with the affordable rent, right? Just because you've been on that budget for a while now, you still want to continue to save your money and plan for that home ownership day that's going to come. So I don't see prices coming down anytime soon. I don't see rents coming down anytime soon. The prices are holding steady where they're at. We're still in a low inventory market, just like we've been this whole year. And, it's something where, like we've always said on this call, if it makes sense for you to buy right now and you can afford the payment, now's the time to buy then, and we can help you through that process. So that's my, what I see in the market nearby. I mean, in the near future is pretty much what we've seen the last 5 months that we've been, in the same market with interest rates kind of holding the same bandwidth where they're at. And the demand is still there. People need a place to live, and people are out looking for homes and trying to get qualified, and even looking at like a multi-generational situation where maybe two families are coming in and using their credit and their income to make that application stronger. So, I encourage buyers, do what you have to do to get into the property. Later on, when the rates come down, you can refinance and leverage your equity at that time. But, don't get complacent with continuing to be a renter for the next 5-10 years, because you're going to regret not buying a home 5 or 10 years ago when you could have. So, even if you have to just, continue to save your money, cut back on the lattes, cut back on the lunch, and just keep saving your money. It makes a big difference at the end of the month when you really start being disciplined and you're really determined to save money. You can do it. It just, it's a small sacrifice, but it's a big return at the end.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Hey, I
definitely.
mentioned you guys can put comments into the chat box if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn. And boy, Gustavo gets a nice shout out from Oscar. I don't know if Oscar is somebody you paid money to, Gustavo, or he's some sort of shill that you got in here. But shout out to Gustavo. I got my son Paul pre-approved. Excellent job you did for him, and appreciate that you, Bill, Patricia, Gustavo are doing for us all. God bless you all. Thank you very much, Oscar. That's why we do this. And Gustavo is really good. He did the same thing for another friend of mine. So. Okay, would you pay Oscar for that kind of comment? And do you have any other friends that can put my name on? Right? I'd like a shout out like that too. Oscar, thank you. It's very sweet of you. Okay, I think that's and we'll wrap up in a good note like that. Oscar, thank you so much. We do this every Friday at 5. I'm sorry, every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Every 5 p.m. on Wednesdays, and then we get together and talk about all things home buyers. Love to help you guys get your next house. Love to give you some advice, introduce you to Gustavo if you met him, or me or Patricia if we can help you. Call us, text us, email us. And thank you. Our phone numbers are there in the chat box there. And any last words, Patricia, before we go?
Well, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Oscar, for the nice comment. And we hope to see you guys all next week.
Fantastic. Thanks, Gustavo. Patricia, we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah.
All the best.
Thank you, guys. Bye. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you.
We got another one from Ty Bullard. Look at that one before we go. Very informative. You are welcome, Ty. Thank you for jumping in. Okay, we're off.